It's the ultimate travel guide from the people who know it best. Weekends with Yankee.
Next, we head west to Brattleboro, Vermont, where every year the Harris Hill Ski Jump is the home to 2 heart-stopping, fun-filled days of jumping by young athletes around the world, along with some tailgating and music. Climbing to the top of the jump, we meet a few of the brave participants and get a glimpse of what it is that these daring souls have signed up for.
I'm Kevin O'Connor. I'm a Vermont journalist and author of the book Harris Hill Ski Jump: The First 100 Years. Fred Harris in 1921, December of 1921, decided he wanted to have a ski jump. So we found this property and within a month cleared the trees, smoothed down the land, built a ramp, and in February of 22, a month later, had the first jump. 2,500 people showed up because they wanted to know what this idea of putting 2 boards on your feet and jumping off a hilltop and landing on your feet was going to be like. And it really took off. And by 1924, the first national championship was held here. And by 1929, the second. I think what's interesting about ski jumping, it was anyone who actually dared do it.
I'm from Brattleboro, Vermont. I was born and raised here, and I'm a former ski jumper, but I'm jumping this weekend here at Harris Hill, kind of coming out of retirement for the 100th anniversary. Harris Hill has meant a lot to me. I grew up watching ski jumping here every year until I turned 10 years old and started in the junior ski jumping program in town. And I just grew up idolizing the sport and thought it was so beautiful and just looked really cool. And I always wanted a long pair of skis like I saw the jumpers have here and on TV. And it's pretty unique to grow up in a town that has an Olympic-sized ski jump. It's one of 5 in the country, the only one in New England. And we get an amazing crowd every year. So, seeing that every year growing up in the midst of that, it's a really cool event. Yeah, so I think the uniqueness of Harris Hill lies in the atmosphere and the crowd. So I was very fortunate in my athletic career that I got to travel and compete around the world. But on the circuits I was on below World Cup, there really were never crowds at these venues. And to jump here in front of thousands of people is such a cool experience when you're not used to hearing the roar of the crowd after a good jump or even a bad jump.
A lot of people tend to bring cowbells. It's sort of the one way to make noise if you're wearing mittens or gloves. But there'll be several thousand people, and they will listen to the announcer, who will announce who's coming down, and you'll hear the sort of roar of the crowd. If the longer the jump, the louder the sound of the crowd. The cowbells will come beforehand, and then the crowd cheers will come once the skiers land.
But when you're going down the track is icy, so you hear your skis chattering. When you go into the air, you just hear wind. And then when you land the jump is when you hear the crowd, and that's pretty cool. So the most technical part of ski jumping that athletes and coaches are working on is the takeoff. It all comes down to hitting the end of the jump right on time and doing the right thing with your body. And it's an outward jump. People often think ski jumping, you're kind of just jumping up like normal, but it's actually jumping out over your skis, and that's what keeps the speed that you have going down the in-run. When you really hit it right and you're flying and you know you're going to go to the bottom of the jump, it's almost a indescribable feeling. It really does feel like flying.